Okay, we are live. Ooh, I'm quite cold.
How do you know we're live?
Um, check. Uh-oh. You were in one spot and then you moved to another. Is that gonna be your spot?
So does that mean I can't move the whole night?
No, you can move. It's just, that's your frame. Yeah. Right there. So.
Are we live?
Yeah. Making fools of ourselves. It's okay. I can just edit that part out. Now we're starting. I mean, I can't edit it out if people... Well, I can, but later on, after the video gets posted,
Yeah.
then I'm able to go back in and then change it to where it's, to it cuts out the beginning.
Okay. Am I in the right spot?
No, yeah, you're perfect.
Okay.
How's it going?
Good.
Is it weird hearing through? Oh, yeah, by the way, this is your microphone. Try to keep it about, this much away from your...
Maybe a little closer.
Yeah, and then, if you lean back, then you let it follow you.
Okay.
Okay, we're here with my mother on my testimony. You don't have... Let me see your teeth. No, you're fine. You don't have anything in your teeth. This is kind of strange. I've never had anyone who's related to me on my testimony, but today is the day. Should we start with that question? That dreadful question that some people dread and other people are... Who is your God?
Sure. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Excuse me. My God.
But first, have you been preparing this?
Have I prepared?
Yeah.
No.
You have an answer ready?
Of course I do.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, my God is Jesus Christ, the Son of God. That's who my God is, the one and only God.
Does that mean you have any restrictions on life? Do you have any restrictions?
What do you mean by restrictions?
I mean, do you have anything that you believe that you cannot do?
Sure.
Like what?
Like, I try very hard to follow the 10 Commandments.
Can you name them?
Probably.
Let's see how many you can name.
Okay. Thou shalt not steal. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Wait, that's wrong.
I'm not going in order.
I know, but that second one is wrong.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Yeah.
Love thy neighbor as yourself is a commandment.
I don't think so.
Well, it should be.
Have you ever broken that?
I'm sure I have. I'm not perfect.
Can you think of a time that you, Actually, let's jump back to where you were born. You were born in North Kansas City, right?
No.
Okay. I thought you went to North Kansas City High School, or North Kansas City School District.
No. I grew up in Kansas, and I was born in Oklahoma City.
How did I get North Carolina? Or, no, I'm saying North Carolina. I'm kind of on the spot now.
Who knows, Sam?
Okay, so you grew up in Kansas?
Yes.
What part?
Wyandotte County, Kansas.
Okay. And what school did you go to?
High school?
Just growing up. I thought you lived in North Kansas. How do you know? Did you used to live in North Kansas City?
No. Well, your dad did. I mean, when I was dating him.
Okay. Were you living at home whenever you were dating him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When did you move out?
I moved out when I was almost 21. He got a job in Jackson, Mississippi, and he was there for 2 or 3 months. And the company that he worked for offered me a job, and then one of his sales reps said that I could live with her because I didn't know anybody in Jackson, Mississippi. So I moved to Jackson, Mississippi, I turned 21 there, and I lived with this lady and her son. He was a little guy, 4 or 5, super sweet. And I lived with them for a year.
What was her name?
That's a good question. I'd have to really think about it. It's been 30 some years ago, 38 years ago.
38 years ago.
Well, I was 21 and I'm 59, so yeah, 38 years ago. Connie was her name. Her name was Connie. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Doesn't Connie live in Kansas City now?
No.
Okay.
I haven't actually spoken to her.
I just
Probably
know a
for quite a
Connie
few
from
years.
like way back when.
No.
No, I mean like a Connie that like we both know from like way back when. That, like you knew for a while. Like a teacher or something.
Oh, I'd have to think about that too.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. But Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to Jackson, Mississippi for Dad?
Yes.
Okay. And so you were working at the same company?
Yes. And I didn't have a car, and I rode to work with Connie. I sold my car in Kansas City, and I rode to work with Connie. And then almost every evening after work, I would go with your dad somewhere, or we would go back to his house. He had 2 roommates, and then he would drive me back to Connie's, and I'd go to work the next day.
How long did you work there?
For a year. He got a job with a corporate company that he always wanted, and it took him to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio? Mm-hmm. I feel like these are things that I should know about you.
You should.
Well, I'm glad now we're here asking you about them.
Yeah. So I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I got a little apartment. He traveled all the time, so he had a condominium, I think, on the golf course in Cincinnati. And I didn't have a job, but I immediately went to I went to apply for American Airlines. And I got on with American Airlines in their reservations department. And I was there for a year. And then your dad got transferred back to Kansas City.
You were a stewardess at that time?
No, not that time. That came next. Then when he got transferred back to Kansas City, I moved back home. We were engaged. And that was in July of 83. And we got married in December of 83.
1983. Was that when you got the Mustang?
No, that was in 85 when I was pregnant with Megan.
Okay.
And so Dad, I moved back
Shotgun
home to
wedding.
my parents. No. I got married in 83. She was born in 85, and I'm not an elephant.
Mm-hmm.
We don't carry our kids 2 years. So
Does an elephant carry their kids?
they carry their babies a long time. I think it's a good 2 years. I could be wrong, but I know it's
Wait,
quite
why
a
do
while.
you know that?
I don't know. I just like to read. You know that.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just curious how like you stumbled upon that kind of information.
Actually, it was probably because when we went to Kenya and we were on the safari, and we saw animals and
And you had a
elephants,
guide?
and we probably asked a lot of questions to our guide, and that's how I knew it. So, yes.
Were you pregnant with any of us whenever you went to Kenya?
No. Megan was the only one we had. She was 2, and she stayed with Grandma and Grandpa. So no, not at that time.
Okay, so then you went back to Kansas City. So you so you didn't just follow Dad to Jackson, Mississippi, but you also followed him to Cincinnati, and then back to Kansas City.
Yeah,
And then you got married.
I was pretty reluctant to go back to Kansas City because I had a career. I was with the airlines, and I was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so we were engaged. And so I flew back home, and I interviewed in Kansas City with the general manager at KCI, the airport, and thought maybe I would, be a ticket agent and gate agent and all of that. And instead, I put my application in Dallas and got into as a flight attendant, and I was in Dallas for 8 or 9 weeks training, and then went home after that, and then we got married 3 months later in Liberty.
How did he ask you?
It was Christmas Eve, the year before.
Christmas Eve. So that would have been
82.
82. So that was 8 years ago, 6 days from whenever I was born.
You were born in 91, so yeah,
Is that right math? I don't know if it's good math.
close.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Huh.
Didn't know all that, did you?
No. I know about like your worst date. I remember you telling me stories about that. I can't remember the guy's name.
Who knows? There were quite a few.
Maybe I don't know enough
Things were
about
different, Beth. Things were so different when I was dating. Like today, people date and they date one person. And when I was growing up, it was okay to have a date on Friday night and Saturday night.
I see what you're saying.
Because, I mean, honestly, we were dating around. We weren't sleeping around because we didn't. Well, I guess some people did that. I didn't. So, dating was just.
Tell a story about the swingers.
Oh. Okay. So when Sam was in high school, there was some times where he couldn't understand why I didn't feel it was appropriate for him to hang out with some people. And I always told him, you are the company you keep. And I do believe that to this day. And I gave him an example, and that is that we know a lot of people in the town we live in, and we were invited to hang out with a few couples. And
Wait, was this before me?
no, you guys were kids.
Okay.
And I knew that they were swingers. They were great, nice people, very respected in the community. But I also knew what they did, and so I declined their invitation. And I wouldn't hang out with them because, like I said...
Yeah, but you went to, like, didn't you go there, though?
No, we didn't go there. I was friends with them. I still see them to this day. I don't think any of them hang out anymore, but I don't know. But no, I didn't go to one of their, dinner parties or whatever. We were just invited. Dinner parties, yeah. We did lots of dinner parties. They were fun. It's not where you go and you have parties and you get totally wasted and stuff like that. I was having dinner with nice people in the community and just visiting and hanging out.
Did you ever have a drink before you were 21?
I did not. In fact, well, that's not true. Let me take that back. My first date with your dad, I was 19, and I told him I was 19, and his face was just, you have to ask him about that. His face was priceless because he was 24, and he was like, what the heck have I got myself into? And he offered to buy me a drink, and I never had a drink, so I said, well, I don't drink anything. And he said, well, I think you might like a strawberry daiquiri. I think you'd enjoy that. So I was like, okay. So he bought it for me. I didn't really care for it, so I didn't drink it. And then on my 21st birthday, when we lived in Jackson, Mississippi, we went out with a lot of friends to a restaurant. Well, our coworkers, and you got a free drink when you turn 21, and I ordered a Diet Coke, so I just didn't drink. So, nope. I never had that desire to. I was always, I had some sweet friends in high school that sometimes would drink, and I never took, I just never drank, so I would be the person to drive.
Were you ever friends with, like, any potheads, stoners, or cokeheads, or...
Cokeheads? I don't think they had those back then. If they did, I didn't know. No, there were people who smoked pot.
In the 80s?
Well, honey, I graduated in 79. So like 77, 78, 79. And kids weren't really into that. But a lot of the athletes, oddly enough, even the athletes were like smoked pot.
I don't know. I think you're a little detached because I could bet that the major leagues, there's a lot of cocaine going around in there.
I just didn't know about it. Remember I told you are the company you keep. I hung out with really straight good kids that we didn't want to get in trouble. We honored our parents.
Okay, so who was like the worst kid that you hung out with then growing up? Other than your brother.
He wasn't bad.
They
were ornery. They were definitely ornery, but I didn't really hang out with any any bad kids. When I was a senior in high school, someone looked me up.
On Facebook.
No, there was no Facebook. Someone that I grew up next door to when I was like 4, 5, and 6, and his mom and my mom were still friends, and he called my mom and asked me, or asked for me, because remember we had no cell phones back then, so you had to call landlines, and my mom told him that I was at work, and she said, "You're welcome to go up and say hi to her, though." And so he came up to where I was working, which was called TG&Y. It was just like a little nickel and dime store. And I remember him going through my line. I was checking him out, thinking, yeah, he's a really cute kid. He had really long hair like yours. But I didn't recognize him or anything like that. Anyway, long story short, he ended up calling, and I ended up dating him the end of my senior year and went to senior prom with him. But I broke up with him the day after senior prom because we went to my prom and his prom. And we went to my prom first and then his. And, excuse me, he smoked pot and just wasn't cool with me. And I didn't have the right to tell him what to do. He kept it from me, so it was kind of, I felt like he was dishonest. And if you can't be honest, then I don't really want to hang out with you. So I broke up with him, broke his heart. And so,
Are you sure you broke his heart?
oh yeah, I broke his heart.
Do you take pride in that?
No, not at all. Nope.
How did you know that you broke his heart?
Because he cried.
Okay, that's how we know.
And he said that he would not do it again. And I asked him how long he'd been doing it. And he'd been doing it all through high school, 3 years. Well, that's his thing. So, I'm not going to, you can't change people. People have to change on their own. You can't say, okay, you do that, and then we can continue to date. I mean, he had already established what he was, and I didn't want him to change for me, and I wanted him to change for him. But by that time, I mean, honestly, it just kind of grossed me out that he did that. And because he lied, and I didn't like it. But I'm not going to say, okay, stop doing it, and we can stay together. That wasn't going to work, period.
I just realized that I forgot to shave my mole.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're so funny.
I'm listening about the heartbreak. But it just struck me that I forgot to shave my mole. And then it reminded me of the time where you took me to get my moles removed. Whenever I was like, I don't know, like 14 or something.
Well, because you had
15.
blonde hair and blue eyes, and you're susceptible to skin cancer, and Dad thought you needed to go get your moles removed.
It was Dad's idea?
Well, yeah, because his uncle had melanoma, and that kind of just concerned him a little bit. So I did.
Well, they grew back.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Uh-huh. And then not only that, but this one kind of like it turns into a zit sometimes.
Okay, well that might mean you need to see a dermatologist.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it though.
No, don't worry about it.
I get plenty of vitamin D.
Just pray about it.
Okay. We'll put that on my prayer list. Do you have a prayer list?
Yeah.
I mean like an actual list.
Oh, I have a mental list.
You have a mental list.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
See, I don't think I could have a prayer mental list.
Oh, I do.
Because I would forget.
No. I think that when you're praying that, you just,
What you're asking. What is prayer to my mother?
So interesting that you asked that question, because sometimes I feel like when I'm praying, which I do pray a lot, I even tell the Lord, I feel like I'm always asking you for things. And I can't give you anything. The only thing I can give you is myself. And that's really all he wants. But I feel like
differ. I would say that he doesn't want yourself. He would want your ideal self.
Well, I'm not perfect. We are, you can.
Well,
I mean,
yourself would just be where you're at in that moment, right?
Well, I mean, given my life, he's part of my life.
But I mean, like,
He wants me.
he wants your tomorrow. You.
He wants me, and but he knows that I am not. I am human, and thank the good Lord for grace, because it's definitely something we need every day, every minute of the day.
Okay, have you witnessed any of Allie, Megan, or me near-death experiences?
Have I witnessed?
Yeah, I mean, other than seeing me snowboard,
No.
where you were like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh, well, I don't think I'd call them near-death experiences, but I was thinking about this the other day, and I can't remember if it was you or Allie that was in the van, and I was putting groceries away in the house, and somebody got out of their car seat and went up and put the car in reverse, and it went down our driveway and up the neighbors, and then back down. And when I came out, it was up across the street, Jennifer's house, and it was like this, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I ran and got into the van and got in and stopped it. I can't remember if it was you or
It was
Allie.
Allie.
Was it Allie? Okay.
I remember that because
Oh.
I knew it wasn't. I remember hearing about that story.
Oh, there were many times like when you guys did certain things, like when you broke your leg, when Megan
remember
broke her
that.
leg.
How did I break my leg?
You went down, and the basement wasn't finished yet, and
Yeah.
so it was cement, and we had that little tyke slide, and you would jump off of it. You would get on your knees and go down it from the step. And this one time you were a little reckless, and you went down it. And when you did, you hit the cement, and it just cracked your tibia.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a mess. You were in a cast for about 8 or 10 weeks. It was a very sad thing. Like, you were 2.
I was 2,
Mm-hmm.
and you let me do that?
Well, you were the 3rd kid. No, I'm kidding. No, I didn't let you do that. You were downstairs playing in the basement with the girls, and but you were always so good, and so there was nothing for you to get hurt with down there. But you found a way.
The cement.
Yeah, you found a way to fall down and hurt yourself. So yeah, that scared me. There's plenty of times where you guys all 3 of you had wrecks, and I'm just like, by the grace of God, I'm just like so thankful that nobody was hurt. And so I don't think that there's any near-death experiences though.
Do you remember any other broken bones or like me getting hurt?
Yeah, you broke your collarbone snowboarding. You had to have surgery.
Yeah.
I think those were the only 2, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've never had a broken bone.
That's because you haven't risked enough.
Oh, I have. Are you kidding?
Whatever.
I bump into everything because I'm always in such a hurry. I mean, you would think I would have fallen down the steps by now. Actually, I have fallen down the steps.
I know you have. I know you've fallen up the steps.
I did. But the last fall down the steps was not my fault.
That's what they all say about
No. I was
falling
coming
up the
out of a
steps.
doctor's office,
Uh-huh.
and there was an older lady who was trying to go down 3 steps, cement steps, and I could tell she was struggling. And about the time I recognized that she was struggling, she was going down. She must have been 80 or 90. So I literally ran, got her in front of her, and she ended up sitting on the top step on her bottom, but I ended up going down the 3 steps on my shins. And yeah,
We can laugh about this now.
I
When
have
was
scars
that?
to this day. It was 10 years ago when I was nursing school.
Yeah. Why didn't you ever finish that?
I did. It just didn't work
No,
because
you graduated?
I didn't. Yeah, because I wanted to watch grandbabies.
No, but you
instead.
didn't graduate, did you?
Yes,
10 years ago.
10 or 12.
I was 18.
You were in college.
But I saw Megan walk, but I don't remember you walking.
I didn't walk.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, are you ever going to use it?
No, I use it every day. Right? With kids and
yeah.
you and no. Nope, you know what I love.
Oh, yeah, Norwex.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are looking for... Here we go. 1 second here. you guys are looking for cleaning supplies, my mother is the one you want to call. She is excellent at describing this environment that we're in that does truly need to be saved because of the cleaning products, because of the issues in the environment. She has found an alternative. And if you're looking for something like that, you're just a cleaning lady or a cleaning man. There's no particular order as far as the gender. Cleaning man or cleaning... Okay.
Thanks, Sam.
I was trying not to be politically incorrect whenever I did that.
That's ridiculous.
Well, there's cleaning men.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were going to say cleaning man or cleaning woman or cleaning man who used to be a cleaning woman.
Oh.
No.
If you're a cleaning man, a cleaning woman, or cleaning trans, or if you, whatever it is that you define yourself to be, because we don't discriminate here at Norm.
No, we don't.
I didn't want to say the actual name of it because I feel like somebody could take that and then like plaster it to.
I just have
your
this hat
company.
on today because it's been a very long day and my hair is not looking very good. I have it in a ponytail because it's been 5-6 weeks since I got my hair cut.
Hey, you look pretty.
Thanks, Sam.
If you watch that you look pretty.
Thank you, Sam.
So what was I talking about before we got into that?
Oh, we were just talking about.
Oh, I invested in some stock today, $100.
Netflix?
No,
Anything I would know?
Goodyear tires.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd you choose to do that?
Because they're dropped so much since the coronavirus deal.
Yeah.
And they're at like $7 right now, and
$7?
a
No
share.
kidding.
Not opposed, but compared to what they were at in like January, it was like $35.
Good deal. Stay with it because everybody's always going to use Goodyear.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
yeah. Me, Jake, and the guys in the truck we're determined to enter into the stock market and do well because you can now.
You ought to invest in the airline business.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I think it's going to be a long while before it goes
It is.
back up.
I saw a picture.
United is at $12 right now, and it was at about $100.
No kidding.
Yep.
Well, Allie and Jimmy are flying in tomorrow on
United?
Mhm. And it's funny because I got a picture from a friend who traveled, and he was the only person on the airplane. It was like a private jet. I can hear you chewing.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I brought Sam ice cream.
My mother brought me ice cream, which I don't normally like ice cream, but
It's
I thought,
refreshing.
heck, I needed the sugar.
Yeah. And I don't usually eat sugar, but I needed the sugar, so that was exciting. So,
You
where
just
were
check
we?
your time.
No, my watch was going nuts, and I thought it was ringing, but it was just telling me that my battery's
Oh
getting
my
low.
gosh, where did you get that watch? It looks so great.
Your dad bought it for me for Christmas.
Is
I
that-
actually like it because then if I don't, like, I try to not to carry my phone with me, like, from room to room because it's constantly going off. And so that way I can just,
Because everybody you're kind of like a local celeb in a
no,
way.
I'm not.
I mean,
No, no,
actually, yeah, kind of. I mean, I got in a truck with we were going to go look at some other properties we're planning on mowing, and anyway, I got in a truck with Spencer Walther.
No. Oh, yeah. He's a
And
nice kid.
yeah, and apparently you were at his parents' house or something recently.
No. I saw him down the street at Nancy's house. He's doing their yard.
Okay, yeah, you saw him or something,
Yeah, he's a nice kid. He was such a sweet kid in high school
but you remember him.
and in elementary school. Yeah,
Yeah, you remember
I
him,
remember him when he was in kindergarten. Heck yeah, he and his sister Taylor, sweet kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the most memorable kid? Oh, I had a question recently that I was asked, and it was, who do your parents think that you what do your friends think that your parent? What do others think of your parents?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who asked you that?
It was a questionnaire on something that I filled out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what'd you
Anyway,
say?
so I put that for my dad. He was like the stern guy. I really wanted to put stony face, but I didn't think that it was appropriate. And then I put for you that everybody felt like they could talk to you.
Yeah.
Where do you think you got that?
I don't know. Good question. I think
Mom, nature, society.
just growing up,
I mean,
I was
father.
like a real, like, nurturing person. Maybe it's because I had little brothers, but I was the only girl, so you have that need to nurture people. And I think when I got married and had kids, I don't know. I think all the kids were able to talk to me because everybody was always at my house, because our house was where it was at.
Where it was at.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, like the spot.
No, it's the spot. It's where the kids wanted to come. Even the kids who you guys grew up with, some of them were kind of ornery kids and did some things that they knew that Mama J didn't like. Remember, that's what all the kids called me, Mama J. I don't know who chose that, but every kid called me Mama J.
Driving around in the kid limo.
Yeah, kid limo. Or Uncle Ronnie says Kid Elmo.
Whose idea was to get a license plate?
Me.
This kid
I'm
limo.
proud of my kids. I was proud of being a mom and a soccer mom and a baseball mom and a cheerleader mom and a swim mom. I was proud of you guys. So that was your vehicle. I mean, I just shuffled you guys around wherever your practices were, and we carpooled with lots of other kids. You know, that was my purpose, was to be a mom and to be a good one.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite mom or my favorite
your
child?
favorite child.
Oh, that's easy. My favorite male child is you.
Okay.
My favorite 34-year-old child is Megan, and my favorite 30-year-old girl child is Allie.
Okay. That was kind of like the worst answer ever. I want like the real answer. Like,
I don't have
who is your favorite?
I really don't have a favorite.
Okay, so let me give you some moods. When you're most sad, who would you call?
Sad?
Yeah.
I don't call any of you.
Okay. Well, whenever you're the most angry, who do you call?
I don't call any of you.
Okay, so whenever you're the most happy, who do you call?
All of you.
All of me?
I don't want
All
to
of
call
us?
you. I don't want to call you when I'm angry, because you really have to. Anger, when you get angry,
I think that was a Freudian slip.
you don't want to call people and talk about it, because number one, you're going to calm down, right?
Yeah.
And so process it, work through it, wrap your brain around it, and 99.9% of the time, the next morning, you're going to feel completely different. Because I don't hold grudges. I don't feel like I'm a bitter person. I don't hate anyone. So if I'm angry, and I got angry last night for the first time, but I really think that I got angry because of the situation. Just, like life is just really, really different right now. And someone texted me something that was, someone on my team that was just, to me, I took it as very much of an insult. And so I decided not to respond, not to reply to her text, because I was angry. And this morning when I woke up, I saw things completely different. I was tired. And so I don't call y'all when I'm angry, because I don't want you to get on the bandwagon with me and then me be wrong, which, and overreact. And I don't want to call you when I'm sad, because I don't want you to be sad. And you guys all have soft hearts. And I don't want you to.
My heart's been hardened at times.
You still have a soft heart for me.
Eh.
Oh, stop it, Sam.
You're probably the only one who would say that.
Yeah, you're a softie.
No, I'm pretty sure that the people that I'm around regularly, they would say that. They would say you got a hard heart.
I don't see it.
Well, I don't know. So
I mean, some things have happened, in your life that I can see where you could have a hard heart towards situations,
yeah,
but I don't think you have a hard heart towards people.
I thought about that the other day.
You
How
don't.
that Pharaoh his heart was hardened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that means.
Mm.
What does it mean to have a hardened heart?
Well, whatever I say to you isn't going to hurt your feelings. Whatever I say to you, you're not going to really care about. You're just going to, whatever.
So do you think that Pharaoh was like numb?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I heard this recently.
Yeah, I do.
Is that if you numb the pain, you also numb the happiness.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so to put that into context of the Pharaoh. So Pharaoh, I don't know if the people have even actually heard of the Pharaoh.
Shall we tell them since it's Easter?
Is it? I mean, it's coming
Sunday
up.
is Easter. Yes.
Yeah, so Pharaoh was most closest to, or Abraham was most closest to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh threw Abraham in prison after he got framed with the Pharaoh's wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his ascot, I'm just kidding, it wasn't an ascot, it was a scarf, but I just like the word ascot because I get to say the word ass around my mom. Anyway, so Abraham's so he got framed by the Pharaoh's wife because he wouldn't sleep with her.
Right.
Yeah, and so then Pharaoh threw Abraham in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically what happened after that is the cupbearer and I can't think of the other dude, some other dude went to prison and because they did something. And then they had dreams, and then Abraham was like, yo, this is what's going to happen. You are going to be fine. You, on the other hand, are going to be hung in a tree, hanged in a tree, if you want to get grammatically correct. And then after that happened. But then it was the baker. The baker forgot all about it. And then Abraham was left in prison. But then when Pharaoh had a dream, he had a dream that I can't remember exactly what the dream was, but he needed someone to interpret it. So then the baker's like, oh yeah, Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Abraham? Joseph. It was Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah. Joseph knows how to interpret dreams. So then Pharaoh was like, yo, Joseph.
Interpret my dream.
Yeah, interpret my dream. And then pretty much he was like, yo, next 7 years, we're going to get a lot of food. And then that 7 years after that, we're not going to have any food. We're going to go through a famine. And then, so then Pharaoh was like, okay, Joseph, help. And like he became like his right-hand man. Joseph is my favorite in the Bible, by the way.
Really?
Yep. Who's your favorite? And what's a story that most aligns with you? While I eat this ice cream.
My favorite. I don't know. There's so many good stories. I mean, I love Abraham.
Tell a story.
Father
What
Abraham.
if somebody was like held a gun to your head and said, "Tell a story from the Bible"? What would it be?
Well, the most recent one that me and the boys talked about, and I'm talking about our grandsons, was Daniel and the
It's
Lion's
been on
Den.
me eating ice cream for like the past 2 minutes.
Because I wasn't talking.
Well, for some reason it's not switching. So speak better into the microphone.
Speak better.
There you go.
Oh, maybe they haven't seen me the whole time at all. Hello.
No, you're on there.
Okay.
I promise.
Oh my gosh, right now I'm reading, oddly enough, I'm reading Revelations, and it's just scary. And I'll tell you this story. this isn't a story in the Bible, but the other day on Facebook, somebody, now I want you guys to know that I would not have Facebook if I didn't have a business, honestly. And a lot of my customers are on Facebook and they're my friends.
She's always on Facebook. All the time.
I am not looking.
Facebook queen.
No.
You're always on your phone and you never call me back.
Oh, you are such a fibber. Oh my gosh. You are such a fibber. That is so not true. And I am not always on my phone, and I do not look at like other people's posts. What I'm looking for is when someone gets back with me because we talk through their event page or whatever. But I happen to be on scrolling through, and one of my friends, your cousin Kathy, you know who this is, I won't say her last name. We have a mutual friend, and she wrote on her Facebook that her daughter works at Trader Joe's and that she is freaked out because she just checked out a man with his groceries and he paid for his groceries with his wrist.
What? I was hoping you'd say toilet paper, but you said wrist.
Because he had a chip in his wrist.
No way.
Yes way. So I actually private messaged our cousin and said, is there any truth to this, or is this lady just making things up? And she said, oh no, there's truth to what she says. He had a chip in his wrist, and she just took the scanner, and that's how he paid for his groceries.
What?
Well, if you're looking at things, we've got a broad topics, but that's kind of how these shows go. If you're looking at different things like that, I mean, Bill Gates has something that he would like to do to put. It's almost like chipping newborns when they're born, so that you can keep track of their, their shots and all that sort of thing.
No. He's doing that so that he can keep track of their livers and organs.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
Okay. This is conspiracy theory with...
Uh-oh.
A little bit of technical
Is this a
difficulties.
conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory with Sam and Tanya.
Is it a conspiracy theory?
No, I'm kind of like spitballing here, but I think it's true. I think that there is a lot of black market type stuff going on.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
No, like I'm sure I know there is.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Selling livers and organs and what liver is an organ? Liver is also a country. Oh wait, no, it's Liverpool.
That's in England.
It's not a country though.
It's not.
It's a state.
It's a town.
No, it's a state.
It's in England. The Beatles wrote about it.
I'm getting hopped up on this ice cream. This energy is flowing.
I don't like conspiracy theories. They freak me out.
So where do you think things are going to go? Oh, yes. Prophecy.
I hope to goodness that this is not for real, because I mean...
No, it is, because I saw some stuff about it.
I'm not getting it.
Prophecy hour with Tanja.
No, I'm not. I would not do anything like that. I mean, the Bible clearly talks about the mark of the beast, and that is creepy.
Yeah, but so you had that lady that told you that it was going to get so much worse. Mm-hmm. Who was that lady, and where was it, and when was it? Remind me.
Oh, when I was in nursing school, and yes. I walked into a patient's room, and she was in her 90s, and
you're closer to them.
She was reading her Bible, and so I went in and just asked her, what she was studying, and I sat down with her. And I said, what do you think of our world today? And she said, oh, honey.
And how old was she?
Oh, she had to be in her 90s. And she said, honey, never in a million years did I think we would be where we are, even in the 50s, when I was a middle-aged woman. And she said, it's just going to get a lot worse. And that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've always remembered what she said, because we talked about, some things that, maybe your viewers,
Gay marriage.
yes, we were talking about, and she just said that it never,
My
ever-
viewers, yeah, I have very few viewers, but the viewers that I do have, I think, based off of everybody that I've had on, is that it's a judgment-free zone. So if whatever you believe, then it's magical and marvelous, and we appreciate your truth.
well, there's only
Well, no,
one,
yeah.
there's only one truth.
Yep. But we're not gonna go there.
No, we don't have to go there.
No,
'cause
we will go there. I'm just kidding. We won't go there.
No, we don't have
But
to
you
go
did say that things are gonna get.
She just said that she never ever thought that. And then what do? You turn around and 10 years later there's these groups of
I think it needs to be like that.
oh, well, it's yours. So there's these different I mean, come on.
Perfect.
There's you have to have, now we have to know pronouns. People want to change their identity, and you can't change science. And I get what your friends or whoever you have on, are saying. People have a tendency to think that because we're Christians, we're judging. But if you read your Bible and you study your Bible, the Bible clearly tells you that you have the right to judge people by the fruits of their spirit. And what that means is, if you're my son, or even if you're not my son, and you are stealing, I have the right to tell you, you are stealing, you are a thief, and that is wrong.
Well, rights are different from. Rights would be, I don't think it would be accurately.
It doesn't mean that we don't love those people any less. It doesn't mean that we don't love. Come on, we all sin. Every single one of us sin. Every single one of us have things in our life and in our past that we are ashamed of.
Yeah, but some people just don't want those things to be pointed out.
Okay, then don't tell me, if you don't want to point it out, then don't tell me that I now have to call you Mary instead of Mark. So
but
don't.
if I told you, if I said that I want to be called Skabada bloobada bop bop, if I wanted you to call me Skabada bloop bop, would you call me that? Mom?
If Sam, if you want me to call you that, I'll call you that. But you're not going to change your gender.
Yeah, but if I ask you to call me that, I'm playing kind of a devil's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Henry wants to be called Henry Callan Stinky Winky and his last name.
But what if Henry
He's
wants...
4, so yes.
No, but what if Henry at age 15 said that he wants you to call him Shannon?
No.
No?
No. I can't.
What about at 18?
I can't change. You cannot change what science and what God put together. I mean, people often talk about science and God. Well, you can't change science. I can't give you an extra, take away a chromosome or give you an extra one.
Yeah, but whenever you bring in science to the equation, what happens whenever it comes to evolution? How do you believe that?
I don't believe in evolution.
Well, you can't deny evolution.
Okay.
No, I mean like evolution, like...
Well, things evolve.
Yeah.
But I also believe that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. I believe everything that is in that Bible. I am not a cafeteria Christian. That means I don't go in there and go, like you do in a cafeteria. I'll take the mashed potatoes.
That term.
I don't.
The first time I ever heard that was in a Bible study, and I couldn't.
I don't
stand
like.
it.
Well, I'm not one. I'm not someone who goes in and picks and chooses all these things that feel good to me. Being a Christian doesn't always feel good. You go through things just like everyone else. But it's gotten to where you, as a Christian, you almost can't stand up and say, yes, I'm a Christian, because somebody's going to label you just like they say, I label them.
You're getting away from the mic.
So, yeah, I don't pick and choose. I believe everything that is written in that book.
Now you're getting riled up.
Mm-hmm.
So about slavery, there's slavery that's in. Do you believe in that?
That is exactly what happened in the Old Testament. No, I don't.
I'm actually asking you the same questions that I was asked by
No.
Scuba whenever we first did our My Testimony.
No, I don't
so-
believe in slavery. And there's a lot of things you have to remember that the Old Testament and the New Testament are two, the Old Testament and the New Testament are two different things. When Jesus gave his life on the cross, that is where we have the New Testament. The old law is in the Old Testament. So people will often say, so do you not eat certain bread or you don't eat certain foods because it says you can't? And no, I don't do that. I don't eat leavened bread. I eat whatever I want, well, I don't eat bread, but,
So what is of the 7 deadly sins, which one do you struggle with the most? Would you like me to name them?
sure.
Okay. So there's pride, there's lust, there's envy, there's greed, there's anger, and sloth, and what is the last one? Did I say pride?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say
Said greed, lust, pride, anger, sloth. Does that mean I'm like really slow?
no? That just means that you are a couch potato.
No. Okay. Well, I'm not a sloth.
So anyway, which one? I'll just presume that you're not the last one. I'm not saying that is what you are, but what is it that you struggle with?
I don't think I struggle with greed, because would greed be someone who never gives anything? They just want everything for themselves.
Sure.
Okay.
Greedy.
Yeah, that's not me. I give because I want to, not because I want something in return. I don't struggle with lust. I've been married 37 years. I don't struggle with that. I don't struggle with anger.
But if there was one movie star,
Oh,
wait, I can answer it. Matthew McConaughey.
yes. Sam got something right.
Hey.
I think he's a cute guy. That's all. I mean, Dad and I talk about this. He has his favorite little actress.
Which I know who that is too. It's
It changes a lot.
Oh, I know, but I know who it is.
He loves.
Give me the first letter of the name.
Which one?
No, the one that's been for like
I mean,
the
he
past
loves
20 years.
Julia.
No. What is her name? She's an old time actress.
Oh, she was in
First letter.
Oh gosh, what is her name?
Well, when you think of her name, just give me the letter.
She was in the movie that he just loves, and it was that sad movie like 40 years ago where
Like Farrah or something.
these young people get married, and then she ends up dying. And what was her name? Allie. Her name's Allie. I don't know.
All right, we're getting away from the topic at hand. So it's not greed, it's not lust, it's not
Anger.
Sloth.
No.
Okay, so then you're left with envy and pride, right?
Envy and pride.
I'm curious what that last one is.
I don't think I'm prideful if there's any of them and I don't feel like I really struggle with envy, but I don't know, because I'm not that kind of person that's like, I got to be as good as the Joneses. You know that old saying? Got to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's... People have forgotten that
I
one,
don't think that's me. Okay, I got to keep up with my neighbor. How's that? My neighbor has the most gorgeous car in the whole wide world. Gluttony. So is that food?
Yeah, that's
probably
like
food.
That's where you like eat your pain away.
Oh, and I don't do that. That's what's weird.
Well, nobody can eat their pain
When
away.
I'm sad or I'm struggling with something, I don't have an appetite. But I do, and I don't feel like I'm a glutton, but I do like to eat the wrong things. And so that's probably what I struggle with.
What about posture? How do you do with posture?
It's the end of the night.
Fix this.
It's the end of the evening.
What time is it? It's 8:45.
No kidding.
We've only been chatting for about... Oh, you think it's been longer or shorter? What time did you think it was?
I don't know. Probably like 7:45. But I like chatting with you, Sam, and we don't get the opportunity to do that very often. So,
I
mean, we chat, but not like this.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of the last time. I do remember the last time we chatted like this. You came over and you laid on my bed, and I kind of just sat in my chair, and we just shared with each other.
Well, that wasn't that long ago.
That was like a month ago, maybe
Yeah.
month and a half, 2 months ago. It's probably longer than that.
I like coming over, and I like this setup
Yeah, I was gonna say. I just saw your eyes roaming around.
but they can't see one of my favorite things. So can you get the boots so I can share the boots? So these are like.
I'm gonna give you one because I've got a bunch of stuff in here.
My favorite little things that were Sam's, and Sam was absolutely the cutest little kid, and he always said when he grew up he wanted to be a cowboy fighter. And so we got him his first pair of ropers, right? Well, summertime came around, and we couldn't get Sam to take his ropers off, and they began to smell. Yes. We could smell Sam walking in the room. So one night when Sam went to bed, the boot fairy came and took his boots and left him with a brand new pair of Nikes. It was summer. You wanted to wear them in the pool at Clayview. They smelled, I'm telling you. So the boot
And
fairy...
I should have been able to wear them.
You know what? Today, to this day, if I were raising you today, I would have let you wear these boots all summer long. For example, Heath came out today with his shorts on and his snow boots. And I'm like, whatever. You know what? If you want to wear your snow boots, wear your snow boots, even though it's 82 degrees out. So, yes, I would have changed that.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to wear a dress?
No. Boys
Why
don't wear
not?
dresses.
What's the difference, though?
What do you mean, what's the difference?
What's the difference between a dress and some boots?
Well, I mean, nothing if he wants to go back to Bible days, they wore dresses. I don't think I don't think I'd be one of those moms today that, let his creativity roll and let him do what he wants. No, we as parents are given a God-given gift to raise healthy young children into healthy adults. And if you think for a second that telling your son that's 5 years old it's okay to wear hot pink lipstick and fingernail polish is helping them and raising them in a healthy, to be a healthy adult, I have to disagree with you, because there's nothing that comes with it but suffering and struggling. And not because people like Christians like myself are mean to them or look down to them or don't like them, because honestly, we probably love them more than their neighbor who is good friends with them. In fact, I know we do. Never, there is not one person on this earth, and there's a few people that I strongly dislike. I don't hate anyone. I've never hated anyone. There's probably 2 or 3 people that I strongly dislike because of things they've either done to my family or they've done. But I can tell you this, as a Christian, if that person was laying in the middle of the street bleeding and they needed my help,
You'd run them over.
they would get my help. Nice try, Sam.
You would run them over.
They would absolutely get my help. You bet I would.
So you don't think that you could become? Do you think that if it was back in the 40s and you were in Nazi Germany, do you think that you would have been a Nazi?
Nope. Because I love people too much. And there's good in every single person.
Yeah, but there isn't.
But there is. There's good in everyone.
I don't think so.
There's even good in people that have made horrible, horrible decisions.
I need some scripture. Where did you find this?
No, I find good in people. I truly find the good in everyone I know.
I can introduce you to some people that you would say there is absolutely no good in this person. You don't think that you can become? You realize that something like 90% of them became Nazis.
There is no way. It is not God. God did not put that in my heart. That is not the kind of person I am. There is no way. I am going to fight for the underdog. If it is that gay person or if it is that transgender person and they are getting attacked and they are getting beat up, I am going to knock the crap out of the person who is doing it to them.
Yeah.
You do not hurt people. You do not hurt people with your words. You do not hurt people with your body. You do not hurt people. And so,
You
no,
don't think that you could hurt somebody that way?
never. I know I couldn't. I
You
just,
don't do you think that you have the capacity to?
no.
You don't think that you have the capacity to hurt somebody as badly as they did in the Nazi concentration
Nope.
camps?
I would die first.
Well, that's where we differ.
There is no way.
I think that
I could never watch those children go in.
wait, I should clarify that really
I could
quick.
not watch those children and that their mom and dad be separated and these babies crying and screaming for their parents.
Okay.
There is
Easy.
no way.
I understand. I'm just saying you're getting worked up. And
I know.
If you cry, then I'll cry.
I am not crying. I am just telling you there is no way I could do that. They would have to kill me first. That goes for anything though. Cruelty, whether it's to people or
but to
animals.
deny that capacity is like to deny like I think that in and of itself is prideful. To say that you do not have the capacity to do such evil.
Well, then we can call it, maybe it is. I mean, there are things I strongly, strongly disagree with that are going on in our world. But I could never hurt those people just because we differ.
Yeah, but the things you just said, though, like there's a general population. Not a general, because it's like saying large. There's a population of people that would consider the things that you said to be offensive and hurtful.
I'm sure they would, but we're having a discussion.
I know, but what I'm saying, though, is that they would even put you in the camp of the Nazi camp.
Because I disagree with sexuality.
Yeah.
But they disagree with my love for Jesus. Does that put them in the Nazi camp? They feel like I'm judgmental. Does that put them in the Nazi camp?
I don't know. I'm not trying to put anybody in the Nazi camp.
I know, but
I'm asking, like, if you don't have if you deny that you have the capacity to do such evil, then where does that put you when compared to those who did become Nazis? I'll say that again.
Yeah.
So because you deny the possibility or the capacity to become a Nazi, where does that put you when compared to those who became Nazis?
They're evil and I'm not. But you're going to ask me
No.
then.
Where though? As far as as far as like the as far as greatness.
I don't think it has anything to do with greatness. I think it has everything to do with, not the word compassion, but the word, and I think I've talked to you about this before, and I'm the person that I can put myself in your shoes and your shoes and your shoes, and I can feel your pain. I can feel it. And I don't know if everybody has that. Yeah, we all have compassion for that mom who just lost her child. But can we really feel that mom's pain? And I can feel that pain. But here's the weird thing. And don't ask me how. Even if I knew that this person was a Nazi and he killed 10,000 people and half of them were children and half of them were moms, and I had the opportunity to go up and do whatever I wanted to him, like if I wanted to stab him, if I wanted to cut his fingers off one at a time, I could not do it.
I think that you could.
Couldn't. I don't have that kind of hate in my heart for anything or anyone.
I'm not saying I think that you would.
I would.
Let's be very precise with our language. I think that you could. Okay, then I think that you could. Do you think that you could within today and the next in the next 10 years?
to hurt someone?
Sure.
No. Why? Why would I do that?
No, I'm just asking if you think you could,
No.
not that you would.
I just don't think I have it in me.
So then how can
It doesn't
you,
make me weak.
so then how do you have this special gift of empathy if you can't imagine yourself committing those acts? Right?
I don't think that it's a, I don't know. I don't know if it's a gift of, being as empathetic as I am to.
Because, like, to look a Nazi in the face that killed 10,000 people, mothers, families, and you name it.
More than anything, it makes me sad. It doesn't make me, it makes me angry, but not angry enough to hurt that person. How can I do?
But that's also what you
how
say.
can I do to them what they did to other people and that be right? It's not right.
Yeah, but you also said that you can put yourself in other people's shoes. Like,
I can
the
feel their
idea of that is that you can imagine yourself being in that position, right?
I can't put myself in that Nazi's heart and know what he was feeling.
But, like, his wickedness is the same wickedness that we're born into.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. That's, like, my crux of, like, this conversation is that wickedness that is in that Nazi is in you.
Yes, and it probably is. And by the grace of God.
But by saying that you could not commit those things, it's like taking yourself and
I know I
saying that-
couldn't because there's so, just maybe it's my personality.
So if somebody killed me
Could I kill him?
and somebody handed you the gun, I mean, you just saw it happen right there, and somebody gave you the gun.
It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but the thing is that,
It's,
like,
isn't it about maybe forgiveness?
no, I get that,
Yeah.
but
Would I want to hurt them? No. First thing I would do if somebody killed you is I wouldn't be able to move because I would be in a fetal position and nobody would be able to get to me for days because I would be so heartbroken. So the last thing I'm going to
sorry
do
for
is
putting that in your mind.
the
that
last
idea.
thing is that I'm going to do is get up and pick up a gun and go kill someone. And the first thing I'm going to do is lay over you and make sure that you're still with me or try to save you. And then I'm going to be in a fetal position because I'm going to be in shock.
Okay, I didn't mean to put us into a hypothetical of me dying. I didn't mean that.
Brat.
Well, we were getting I was trying to.
It seems like it's hard for you to understand that I don't have that kind of hate in my body or in my mind or in my heart.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't.
I mean, like, but you keep teetering on it and saying that you do have that wickedness in you.
No, I think we were born sinners. I don't think we were born wicked. We were born sinners.
That's another thing that we kind of disagree on is whether we're born inherently good or inherently
I think
evil.
we're born inherently good. Because then you're given a choice when you hear the good word and you learn about Jesus. You're given a choice. It's called free will. And you can either choose to follow him or you can deny him.
Yeah, but then there would be no progress.
There's always progress.
No. There isn't, because if you're born inherently good and then you take on you
you don't think that people backslide a little bit?
No.
Yes, I do.
No, what I know you do, but what I'm saying is that if you're come out inherently good, to accept Christ into your heart, what does that make you after that? Like,
You grow. I mean, things are not always.
no. I'm saying, like, if you are if you become good through God, and you are born inherently good, then how is it that you can become that
bad?
No, what I'm saying is that there is no transformation.
I think it has a lot to do with how you're raised. I think it has a lot to do with your culture. I think it has a lot to do with your demographics, where you are. I think it has a lot to do with poverty or richness.
No, but I think
I mean, you put all those things together.
I think, no, what I'm saying, though, is that, like, dial in on this, is that if you are born inherently good, and you also believe that to accept Christ, well, it was who was it that said it? That it was Jesus who said that. He said that there's no good man but God. Isn't that something he said? That's aside from the point. What I'm saying though is that if you are born inherently good, then what's the purpose of being reborn?
Well, I mean, when you're born, you there's behaviors that you learn behaviors, and I think that let's say you're a 13-month-old like Adeline, and she's getting ready to touch something, and I say, no, you don't touch that. No.
And all she's thinking is,
I want to touch that.
I'm going to touch that.
Right. Yes. And so when you remove her from it,
yeah,
and she learns, then maybe after several times she's not going to touch that. So I really do, even in our little 13-month-old brains, we have a choice. Can I do what this person who takes care of me and loves me, my mom and my dad, and do I do what they want me to do? Do I honor them? Do I obey them? Or do I get what I want? It's just kind of like how our Father in heaven is with us.
Well, you're talking about delayed satisfaction. You're teaching at a young age.
She's
Delayed
she's
satisfaction.
learning. She's learning. She has to learn.
But we're getting away from the topic at hand, and that is, I'll go back to it, is that if you are born inherently good, what is the purpose of being reborn? That would lack. It would completely. There would be no purpose. I guess I'll just state my position.
So you think we're born inherently bad?
No, I actually don't believe that we're born inherently good or inherently evil.
What are we?
I think that I don't.
I mean, you are.
I'm trying to do reductive.
It's a good question, because we can't at 5 and 6 year olds, and I'll take the boys for example, and you even when you were 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, even 8 years old. Every night when we said our prayers, every single night when we said our prayers, it didn't matter what it was. You asked Jesus to come into your heart. And I didn't have the guts to tell you, Sam, you've asked him like 800 times. He's in your heart.
Yeah.
But you ask him, and Jesus, come into my heart. And so you couldn't even, because our brains are not developed to understand some things at 8 years old or 10 years old or 12 years old or 18 years old. I mean, men's brains are not even completely grown until they're 24?
Yeah, but now I'm past 24, so now I'm developed enough
smart
to be able to ask these questions.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are good questions, and that's not something I've really ever thought about.
Can you agree with me on that? Is that if you are born inherently good, then there would be no purpose to being reborn?
Yeah, but the Bible talks that we were born sinner. We are born sinners.
Okay, now you're going back to another position. So are we born sinners, or are we born?
Everybody's born a sinner,
good?
And I think we're born inherently good. I think so.
Maybe it'd help if we would define what good means. What is good?
Not evil. I don't think that we're not animals, so we're not born humans.
So that's what I'm not. I'm not saying that we're born inherently evil. I'm just saying that to say that we're born inherently good, you can, with deductive reasoning, you can say that we're not. I mean, I'm sorry. Through deductive reasoning, that's how I'm that's how a lot of my life is lived. If this is this, and then it becomes this, there is no progression. There is no transformation.
True.
If I were to give you this coaster, I'm going to give it to you. You have the coaster. Okay.
I think I gave these to you.
You didn't give them to me.
Somebody did.
A friend of mine made them for me.
Did they really? They're nice.
Thanks. Daniel Evans.
Really? He did that?
Yeah. Anyway, but what I'm saying though is that if this is this,
Right.
you get what I'm saying, though.
Right.
Like, there is no transformation. There has to be what I believe in whenever it comes to being reborn or being, or whatever heckin' religion that you believe in, is that there has to be a transformation. I think that is without a doubt true.
I don't know.
and not even a transformation. There's a better word for it.
I mean, as a Christian, don't you just like know?
First of all, somebody asked me the other day if I was what I was, and I was reluctant to say Christian.
Why?
I'm not. I think that because it has this.
It does, and you know what? Just like on my, and anybody asks me, are you, or some people will say, are you a believer? Are you a Christian? And I say, I love Jesus. I do. So I know, because they refer to Christians as, I mean, Christians are pretty beat up.
They are the most persecuted religion in the world.
Yeah. Well, the Bible says that will happen to us. It says that.
Well, statistics say that to us.
Yeah, and the Bible says that we will have, that people will not like us, and people will not love us because we follow him and we follow his word. I mean, Christians are going to be persecuted. They always have been.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'm not going to deny the person who.
Well, you should care.
I don't care that I'm persecuted. He's going to take care of me.
I know, but you should care that others are persecuted.
I do.
Bum, bum, bum.
But for me, I am not going to, if somebody wants to say, I will tell you something funny that happened to me about 3 months ago. And I love this family. And I went to a party. I had a party. And I walked in, and the husband says to me, I said, are you going to stick around for the party? And he's like, no, I don't need to see any of that crap. And I was like, oh, okay. So we go upstairs, and I'm talking to his wife.
I'm listening.
And his wife, he looks at me and goes, excuse me, are you one of those Bible people? Are you one of those Christians? And I.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what he said to me.
No, I'm saying uh-oh because I accidentally didn't turn off the. Okay. Yeah, so somebody came into you and came up to you.
No, it was a
and
party.
Said that,
One of my.
You're not one of those Bible.
You're not one of those Bible people.
Did you look at him and say, hell yeah?
No, I looked at him and I said, if you're asking that if I'm a Christian and I love Jesus, yes, I do. And I honestly didn't know whether they were or not. And so I was ready just to pack my stuff up and leave.
Why? Why is that? Why didn't you
because
look at that as an opportunity
he looked like he was he had this look on him, and then he goes, I'm just kidding you. I love Jesus too. But he's just such a kidder, and I really, they are a hysterical family. But I was like, don't do that. I thought I was going to have to pack my bag up, and you were going to kick me out of your house. And
why would you leave?
If they were going to ask me to leave, I would leave.
No, why would you leave if they persecuted you?
It's their house.
No, they didn't ask you to leave.
No, they did not. But had they, I would have left. It's their house. I will leave and respect what they ask. I'm not going to stand there and argue with them. Yeah, I love Jesus and you should too. What is the matter with you? No. I'm not going to do that.
Have you ever argued with somebody about religion?
No, I won't do it.
Why? Why, mother?
I don't know.
When your son such does.
If you look at when Jesus was walking on the earth before he died, and he was walking with his disciples, how many people did he argue with about trying to get them to believe in him? He didn't. None.
Well, arguing doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to get them to believe in you.
No, he just gave he had great parables, and
he struck back at the those guys, Pharisees.
Yeah.
And he called them hypocrites a couple times. Those are my favorite parts in the Bible. Is whenever Jesus.
Sometimes
you guys are hypocrites.
Sometimes you just wanted him to get mad, right? And hold up for yourself.
Well, he did.
Yeah, but you know what? He
flipped tables, and then not only that, whenever you read
should
Revelation,
have flipped tables. That was the temple, and they were not supposed to be in there gambling and buying and selling. They were supposed to be. That was a place of worship, and you will have to honor that and respect that anywhere, whether it's. I'm not a Buddhist, but if I were to go, and I've been in Thailand, so I have walked into, there were Buddhist temples in this place that we got to tour. I chose not to go in there.
You didn't flip any tables?
No, and there were about.
You didn't ask yourself, what would Jesus do?
I wasn't going to do that. This was their country. I wanted to see it. The biggest Buddha I've ever seen in my life. Then it must have had at least 1 million boiled eggs at its feet.
Boiled eggs.
Boiled eggs. And the only thing is
That's
I got
interesting.
upset and I got a little bit angry because before we went in, there were children outside the gates begging because they were hungry. And there were 1 million boiled eggs at this Buddhist feast. That kind of ticked me off. I didn't go into the temple itself because that's not
I probably wouldn't have either.
that's not how I believe. And even though it's not
Maybe I would.
how I believe, I have to respect those people that is how they believe, and leave them be. And so people were taking their shoes off and going in. I chose to stay outside because there was nothing in there for me. My God is Jesus. My God is 3 in 1, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's who I worship. So there was no need for me to go into that temple. It was a beautiful place, but in my heart, I just felt like it was so wrong because there were children so hungry, and there were, I wouldn't say there was 1 million. I'm totally exaggerating, but at least 1,000 boiled eggs. When I say this Buddha was big, it was as big as it was at least a story and a half big. So you can imagine.
When did you do that?
We were in Thailand, I think it was 12 years ago.
12 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
You guys
Bangkok.
traveled a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
We did
You
every
said
year.
Bangkok.
And then we
lot.
went to Cambodia after that. And
Yeah.
that was even more heartbreaking.
Poor kids.
Oh, it was just so sad. Like we were only there for 2.5 days, and I only went one time to tour Angkor Wat, which is this. You've seen the little thing that I brought home. It's like thousands and thousands of years old, and it's where they lived. And when we left, there were just children out there that looked so hungry and were just begging for money because they were hungry, and we gave them money. Then I didn't leave the resort again because I couldn't handle the sadness that was outside the resort. It just broke my heart. You just want to help everyone and you can't, and so I didn't get to see a lot of Cambodia because my heart just couldn't handle it. You can ask your dad. It broke me down seeing children when my babies were at home in a nice home and loved and had plenty of food to eat, and these babies were out 2 years old, 3 years old, asking for money and dirty and just eaten up by mosquitoes because that place was just mosquito. And so that some of those kids had malaria, and it just broke my heart. I couldn't.
Well, how come you didn't adopt one?
I don't think you would have liked it. I never did.
I'm
it's
glad
kind of like
you made you. Thanks.
It's kind of like this. People will say, some people have said, Tanya,
Did you just call it an it?
I don't think you would have liked him or a
think
child.
I
said it, but whether it's a boy or a girl is what I meant. Don't think you would have liked the boy or girl coming to the house and being one of your siblings. No, I tell you what. People have actually approached me recently and said, your love for animals. Why don't you, 2 people, why don't you foster some animals? And then I also had someone else who is actually...
Animals?
Yeah, like foster a dog.
Do you believe animals have souls?
I know you told me they don't, but I want to believe that they do. Yes, so I'm just going to go with that. I'm going with that.
We just went through a passing of a dog named Audrey.
Yes.
Rest in... rest.
Yes. And I'm going to believe that she's up in heaven with Jesus. So.
And I still don't understand how you get to that conclusion.
I just think they are because it says in the Bible that when Jesus comes back that the lions will lay with the lambs. If there's going to be lions and lambs there, then there's going to be puppy dogs.
Yeah, but why is it that every single time in the Bible when it's referring to lambs, it's referring to like those of
the good and the evil.
Those who follow.
It is. But I want to just believe that it's puppy dogs.
So you want to be ignorant of the truth
for that one, just for that one. That's the only one because
you don't think that could like dramatically change you entirely as a person to believe one.
No, because I just compartmentalize those things. I just say that. It's kind of like
come closer to the microphone.
It's kind of like when when Mom died.
Thank you.
My mom died, and we told Heath, who was 3 years old. How do you explain to a 3-year-old death? You can't, but he loved her so much. There's not a week that goes by that little boy doesn't ask about her. And there was nothing, and I just prayed, and I was like, God, just tell me how do we tell him? Like, he loved grandma so much. How do we tell him this? And at the time, Heath was really into replacing batteries and his toys and just batteries. He just thought they were really cool how they did what they did. And so I just felt like God was just saying, you need to just tell him that her battery stopped working. And he understood it. Now that he's 3 years later, he says, when you talked about grandma's battery start working, did you mean her heart? Because now he's learning.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. But at the time, Heath, because you were so little, that was the best way for us to explain that to you.
Yeah.
So as far as fostering animals, and somebody also asked me if I would do a foreign exchange student. They called me just a couple days ago. And I said, this is so selfish of me. I know it is. I would fall so much in love with that foreign exchange student kid. I would just cry my eyes out when they have to go back home, number one. So that's really selfish of me because I'm looking out for my feelings. And I cannot foster dogs or cats because I would fall in love with every single one of them and want to keep them. And your dad would kill me. So I can't do that. I know my heart. And it's too soft for that kind of stuff. It's just way too soft. And you said about adoption. I really thought, we even talked about it after you were born. And the heartbreak if we didn't get that child was just too much. So yeah.
I would have liked a brother.
I know you would have.
I'm just saying.
I always felt bad about not giving your brother because I didn't have a sister, so I knew what it felt like.
So how come you didn't have a fourth child?
Because I felt like if we had a fourth child, it would be what I called a car child. It would live in the car seat. Because we were taking you places, Allie places, Megan places. I just didn't feel like I could be a really good mom and have that poor baby living in a car seat all the time. And I just felt like it was really selfish to do that. And I literally did say to Dad, if we had another baby, it would be a car seat baby. It would live in the car seat because we have this child and this child and that child. So that's why we didn't.
That's why you didn't get me a brother. That's
much.
Fine. I mean, like.
Well, and on top of that, I don't think that it was God's will. I mean, if he wanted me to have another one, then I would have had another one.
I got Scuba.
Scuba's on.
No, he's not on.
Dang it, I want to say hi to Scuba.
Well,
we never met Scuba.
There's going to be a time that you'll meet him.
I know. I do, Scuba, I don't have a beard, as you can see. Why are you laughing?
Because you're talking to Scuba as if he's here and
well, maybe
he's not
he'll
even
watch
on the live stream.
Well, maybe he'll watch it. So I don't have a beard, but I do always, when yours come up, I always push like for you so that you get more subscribers and so you get more likes because you're a nice kid or man, guy. And the beard. And Scuba, if you are listening, by the way, you look really good because you lost some weight. Just saying.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just hitting on my friends on the podcast.
He's a young man. He's your age, isn't he?
As she told me about how she doesn't struggle with lust. Okay.
Sam.
I'm just saying.
He is a nice kid. He has come a long way.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of him.
Well, he couldn't have done it without me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to cut that clip just for that and just send it to him.
The funniest thing I think I saw was when you and Scuba did that piece where you had your head shaved. Like, he shaved this part of your head all the way, and then you had all this.
Characters and... hair...
That was...
Haircuts and their corresponding characters.
Yeah, I literally almost peed my pants over that one. I'm serious. That was so funny.
We need to do another one of those like that. I tried talking him into like doing a channel with me, and just whenever, because every time I go to Wichita, we always think about like all of these videos that we can do, but we never do them because like, one, they don't fit with his channel, and two, they don't fit with my channel. So it's like, even though my channel is a little bit,
you can come up with it. You'll come up with it, Sam.
I just don't know. I don't necessarily know if I want to put PG-13 content on my channel.
He's got some PG-13 going
Well,
on.
I would like to have this channel like projected towards. Actually, I don't know. I am thinking about making a new channel though. Is doing lawn care. I don't know if Dad told you, but I plan on having him hold the camera.
Dad? Why?
Because I think that it would be fun. He found the analytics very intriguing. I remember at one point, and I think that if I can get him to hold a camera and follow me around while I trim, and make a new channel called Sam Care.
It would be like this.
I know he'd be shaking, but like.
Yeah, he could not hold a camera for you.
Well, maybe a tripod.
No, if you
put just pushes record.
No, if you put one of those things on his head. If you put one of those things on his head.
A GoPro?
Yeah, then it would be fine. Try that.
You just have him sit.
Yeah.
No, he'd be looking around.
Did you see it? Oh, you haven't come by. He's so proud. The lawn looked nice, but it's got circles, you know. I drove up today.
Why didn't you ask him? Why don't you ask him? Say, why do you do circles?
Why do you do complete? I don't know. Yeah, there's like circles. I like it better when there's just like stripes, but Dad likes.
Well, I think
circles.
the kids would love it. The
circles?
Henry and Heath, because they can like it'll be like a maze.
Yeah, it looks like a maze. Mm-hmm.
Follow it into the middle.
So your sister and brother-in-law are coming home tomorrow.
Oh, so nobody told me that.
You've known that. You've known that for a long time.
No, I haven't.
It's
wait,
just
is
creeped
it
up
the
on you.
12th?
The 9th.
Well, I was told that they were coming.
No, he wanted you to go back with him on the 12th.
On the 12th.
Yeah. So they'll be in tomorrow 4:30ish. Pick them up at the airport, and they're gonna be here for a couple days.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to have him, as in Jimmy, sit down with me.
Yeah, you might want to wait until he gets back because he has to fly back, and then he and the pups are driving home.
Oh, he's gonna be dead by then.
And guess who's gonna be living with us?
Lyndall.
Louie.
Oh.
I get Louie. Remember?
Really?
Mm-hmm, yeah, you knew that would happen.
Why don't you have Leo live with me?
Louie or Leo? They are not going to give you Leo. They love that dog.
I'm sorry, Louie.
Because you're never home.
I'll put him in a kennel.
You could bring him over to my house. And it could be like doggy daycare, and then you could pick him up after work, and then he could be here with you at nights.
Probably not.
Okay, just a thought.
I could also build myself a fenced-in area. Oh, he would get attacked by those dang cats.
You can't keep it. He's an inside dog.
Okay.
No, he is.
Well, I would consider it.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I love that dog.
Okay, you love every dog.
I know. Oops, sorry. The hat. I do love every dog. I wish I could take all those cats.
Ew. No.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, first of all, shout out to Johannesburg. I've got some Johannesburg listeners.
Johannesburg, Africa?
Yes.
Oh, I have some friends in Johannesburg.
Cool.
I do. Maggie. She
Well,
lives there.
shout out to them. And then number 2 is I've got like 15 to 20 cats that live outside my home.
Mm-hmm. They're feral cats.
Yeah, they get fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We need to figure out like how.
Mike.
It would be so nice if there was like a nice farm that would take the feral cats. And they could live on a farm and they could eat mice.
Or they could just go straight to cat heaven.
No, that is not nice.
That's another question is why don't you just if animals go to heaven, why don't we just shoot them?
Sam Johnson. You honestly don't mean that, right?
Kind of part of
No.
me was like,
No.
we should get rid of
Have
these
you ever
cats somehow.
Have you ever hit a squirrel?
Well, I've hit a dog on accident.
Oh, I hit a squirrel and it ruined my day. I cried.
I cried too when I hit the dog.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
heartbreaking.
was delivering pizza downtown
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
through Little Mexico, like Little
Yeah.
Mexico, Kansas City,
Yeah.
and hit a chihuahua,
No.
ironically. Oh, yeah.
Did it die?
I don't know because I had 3 family meals in my car, and I thought I can either turn around. No, I definitely was going fast enough to where it was a Yeah.
Oh man, those people don't like you. They hit my dog and he left.
Well, it wasn't the person I delivered the pizza to.
Okay. That's
And if
just
they have the
terribly
same
sad.
feelings that I have towards these cats, they would be like, "Thank you."
I left this. I hit this squirrel and I just didn't know that I was gonna. It was just a horrible day. I hit it on Ridge right behind us, and it died. It was a terrible day.
A
I don't
squirrel?
like. Yeah, I don't want to hit anything. I don't want to hit a possum. I don't want to hit anything.
You're not the type to swerve, though, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, Ma. So you could. I gotta show you this video, and then we're gonna close.
Yeah, because I need to go home.
I
I'm
need
so
to sleep.
tired.
You and I both.
And Sam needs his sleep.
So when is Mother's Day?
I think it's like May. It's usually like May 11th. It's usually on Leslie's birthday, so like May 11th.
May 11th. Okay.
It's May 10th this year.
I want to show you this video.
Is this funny video?
This was Mother's Day, May 10th, 2015. Ready? Need the sound on.
It's me and Mom.
Did you catch that?
We both looked up.
Yeah, listen.
We both looked up. Me and Mom both looked up. Oh, I didn't know you had that, Sam.
Yeah.
That's
I was
so
watching. I
sweet.
watched it the other day.
I miss her.
And then this one. So those of you who can't watch, or clearly everybody can't watch, but couldn't hear that, was I asked my grandmother on Mother's Day while I had taken them out for dinner.
Yeah, I went to Cascones, didn't we?
Yeah, Cascones, your favorite
Mm-hmm.
Italian restaurant.
And she was struggling with that spaghetti, wasn't she?
And I said to her, "You know that's horse meat, right?" She goes, "Couldn't be any worse than cow meat." And just
Is that
kept
what she
eating
said?
it. Yeah.
She wasn't much of a meat eater. Nope, she didn't. She ate it just to.
I just did that, and now there's a paradox. So we'll leave it on that.
Okay.
You know what a paradox is, right?
Use it in a sentence.
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it off camera.
Okay.
But
All
maybe
right.
it wasn't even a paradox. So,
A paradox is an ending.
no, it's an ending without a beginning, and a beginning without
An
an
end.
ending. It's a big
It's a beginning without an end and
It's-
an end without a beginning.
maybe. I don't know. Comment below if I'm wrong. A beginning without an end, and an end, and a
We'll look it up when we get off.
yeah.
We'll
Okay.
Google it. All right. God, I got to spend the evening with you, Sam. I love you.
I love you too, and you are pretty. I'll tell you the
I'm so pretty.
what's
Look
the
at this.
yeah.
Does that belong in there?
Yeah, I thought about having. I think that it's necessary that I have like things that people can play with while they speak to me.
Oh, I didn't play with anything.
I know, but I just thought about that. Is that like some people like to have like a little. Anyway, okay, so this is the end. Goodbye and farewell forever.
To who?
Oh no, I'm just kidding. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was a lot funnier in my head.
Yeah. that's not-
Pushing and here we're going to push in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming over, Mother.
My pleasure.
And good night to everybody who is.
Good night.
Oh,
Stay well, everyone.
nobody's watching.
No
but
coronas. Stay well. Somebody will watch it. Stay well. Stay in your home.